Hi, everyone. Welcome. Happy Friday. We are excited to be kicking off our final day of Honors College Week with a session talking specifically to Honors College scholarships. So my name is Chelsea Whitman. I am one of the assistant directors in admissions, excited to be joined by several of our Honors College staff and students. Just a few things before we get started. For those of you who are joining us, today's session is very similar to all the others in terms of being one-way audio and video, but we certainly want to use this time to answer any questions that you all have. If you came with questions, you're certainly welcome to throw them into that Q&A feature at any point, and then we'll be covering information that may prompt some questions. So as you have them, feel free to drop them in the Q&A. I'm going to be in the background of the session, keeping an eye on those. We'll probably do a hybrid of addressing questions aloud and typing responses. If you do have specific questions, you can certainly submit them there, and we're happy to address them as they come in. So without further ado, to get us started, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Gretchen.
Hi, thanks, Chelsea. I am excited to share information with you today on the Honors College scholarships. And the first thing that you need to know is that we have a portal where you can match and apply for all scholarships, whether they're honors scholarships or otherwise, and that's the Niner Scholars portal. Today, we're going to discuss the two of our full ride merit scholarship programs, the Albert Engineering Leadership Scholars Program and the Martin Scholars Program. We will also cover information on two tuition and fees scholarships, which are the Freeman Scholarship and the Johnson Scholarship. So first up is the Albert Scholarship. And information that you need to know on this is that it provides approximately $21,500 per year, and that is renewable for 3 years to freshman students that are majoring in engineering. It also includes a one-time $6,000 stipend for a summer internship and a $2,500 stipend for study abroad. It also includes a laptop or comparable technology, and that guarantees you acceptance into the University Honors Program and the Engineering Leadership Academy. The Albert also provides opportunities for research, advising, and student professional development. To apply, you would needed to have already applied to UNC Charlotte by the early action deadline, which was November 1st. And again, this is open to incoming freshmen that are majoring in engineering. Then you would need to apply to the Albert Scholarship and the UHP program, which is a combined application. So you just have to do one application for that, and that would be in the Niner Scholars portal. And you need to do that by December 15th. Finalist notifications will be in February, and then we'll do virtual interviews, and awards will be offered in March. Next up is the Martin Scholars Program. This program is support for high-achieving Pell Grant eligible students with an unmet financial need and zero expected family contribution. And this means, just so everyone understands, zero expected family contribution is what shows up on your FAFSA at the very end when it tells you what your EFC is. That has to show as zero. It's not actually what your family can contribute or what you think your family can contribute. It is what the government thinks your family is able to contribute. So that has to be zero to make you eligible so that you'll match for this in the portal. The features of the Martin are that it provides award amounts equal to the recipient's unmet need up to the total cost of attendance. So what that means is any free money that you're getting that you do not have to pay back, we fill the gap between that and the cost of attendance, which makes this a full ride scholarship at that point. This includes a $3,000 stipend for study abroad or an internship, faculty mentor and special advising, and students in the Martin program are expected to join an honors program, whether that is the arts and architecture honors program, the business honors program, or the university honors program, as well as you could join departmental honors. To apply, this application is open to incoming freshmen, transfers, and continuing students. You'll need to submit a FAFSA by January 1st, and you'll also need to apply to the university and to the Martin Scholars Program by February 1st. And finalist notification will be in late February with virtual interviews at the beginning of March, and then offers will be made sometime in March, later in March. And moving on to the Freeman Scholarship. This is support for high achieving Pell Grant eligible students. It's equal to in-state tuition and fees and renewable for 3 years. This includes membership in a multi-year honors program. Again, that's AAHP, BHP, or UHP. And it has support from the Honors College and specialized advising. And you also get access to honors housing in Levine Hall. To apply, this is open to incoming freshmen. You'll need to submit a FAFSA by January 1st, apply to the university by February 1st, and apply to the Freeman Scholarship in the portal by February 1st as well. Notifications for this will be in March. And last up, we have the Johnson Scholarship. This scholarship is support for high achieving students that demonstrate financial need above the max Pell eligibility. This is what makes this a little bit different from the Freeman. Freeman has to be Pell eligible. Johnson, you need to demonstrate financial need, but be right above that Pell eligibility. The features on this are the same as they are for the Freeman. This is equal to in-state tuition and fees, renewable for 3 years, membership in one of those multi-year honors programs. It provides support from the Honors College and specialized advising and access to honors housing in Levine Hall. Again, application is open to incoming freshmen. You'll need to submit a FAFSA by January 1st, apply to UNC Charlotte and the Freeman Scholarship by February 1st, and notifications for this will be in March also. Successful applicants for honors scholarships are as follows. You need to show a strong academic foundation. We expect to see essays that are well written, interesting, and display a good fit with an honors mindset. You'll be expected to submit a list of activities, and that needs to demonstrate engagement and show potential for success. We do need to have 2 letters of recommendation from teachers that show a substantial level of support for you. In addition to that, for the Albert, you will also need a leadership recommendation as a 3rd letter. You'll need to demonstrate commitment for your own development and contributing to the Honors College and to UNC Charlotte. And lastly, what I have for you is just some information on websites for all scholarships, the Niner Scholars Portal and the Albert and Martin websites. At the end, you'll see there the Honors College website. If you go to that, you'll be able to find any of this information that you need, whether it be on Albert, Martin, and also the Freeman and Johnson information. And there are links to the Niner Scholars Portal and the scholarship website there as well. So we'll be excited to receive your applications and hope that you'll join us in the Honors College. And at this point, I'm going to turn this over to Zach Lord, who will share some information about the Business Honors Program.
Yeah, so hey, my name is Zach Lord. I work with the Business Honors and Belk Scholars programs in the Belk College of Business. So there's one, the Belk Scholars program is what I'm going to briefly mention because it is another one of these programs for high ability students. It's a scholarship program. Similar to the Johnson and Freeman, it covers the tuition and fees. In-state tuition and fees is what Belk Scholars covers for 4 years of undergrad. But then the Belk Scholars program is also a little unique because it allows advanced entry into one of 3 graduate programs in the Belk College of Business. And students will start taking graduate courses there junior or senior year, and then get a master's degree in one of these 3 areas by the time, or in 5 years total. So you'll be able to graduate with an undergrad and graduate degree in 5 years with the Belk Scholars program. So I want to talk a little bit about the program, why it may be of interest to you, and if you might be a good fit to apply. Just like these other scholarship programs, you apply in the Niner Scholars portal. And I don't have any slides for you, so if you are interested, take a couple notes. But the big thing is the Belk Scholars program is really suited for students who are really interested in 2 things. One, business, and the other is like math and statistics and data. So if you are interested in one or both of those things, the Belk Scholars program may be of interest to you. So on the Belk College website, you can find information about the Belk Scholars program. I believe there's information on the Honors College website as well. But one of the unique things about the Belk Scholars program is that you have to major in something within the business school. And then it can be any major within the business school though. And then you're required to be a part of the business honors program. You're still encouraged to apply to the honors college to be considered for business honors, even if you are also applying to Belk Scholars, but you're automatically accepted into BHP if you are admitted into the Belk Scholars program. We do not have a set deadline of when to apply for the Belk Scholars program. It's kind of open until we fill our cohort. So please plan on applying early for that if you are interested in that program. Some of the things that we're looking for in the students who are applying for the program are the knowledge of and background in some of the following: calculus, statistics, computer programming, data analytics, any background and interest and knowledge in those areas. And then the interest in the business field as well. The 3 graduate programs we have offered for tie-in for this program are the Masters of Science in Mathematical Finance, the Professional Science Masters of Science in Data Science and Business Analytics, and then the Masters of Science in Economics. So our students will all go in and receive one of those 3 master's degrees in 5 years. So it's a really great bang for your buck to be able to get a master's degree in 5 years as well. And that is really all that I'm going to necessarily touch on with Belk Scholars. If you have any questions about it, though, please feel free to put those in the Q&A, and I'd be happy to answer more questions about Belk Scholars once we get to the Q&A part.
All right, thanks, Zach. At this point, I'd like to we have 2 of our scholarship recipients with us today, and I'd like to have them share a little information with you. If you guys could share your name and your major, let everyone know which honors program you're a part of, and just share a little bit about your experience and the opportunities that you've had with your scholarship program. So I'd like to start out with Mary Margaret.
Hey everybody, my name is Mary Margaret and I am a junior this year, double majoring in civil engineering and international studies, and I'm an Albert Scholar recipient. So just a little bit about the experience. The Albert Scholars have such a good cohort of, we're like pretty much family. We hang out all the time outside of our scholarship. We've gotten really close. So it's really nice to be a part of the University Honors Program, and then even further than that, a nice cohort of people that are on the same scholarship as you that we've really connected and really go off of one another and encourage each other, provide support for each other, which has been so helpful in just like navigating college. We also do a lot of cultural experiences, which is really cool. Like we've gone to dinner in Uptown a few times and done art museums. So it's nice to like experience cultural things with also a group of engineers with instead of just like sticking with STEM all the time. Like we do other things as well, which is also a great part about UHP in general, just kind of getting that interdisciplinary feel within your college experience. But yeah, the Albert has been really great. And with the $6,000 stipend that Ms. Bagley was talking about earlier, that's given me the opportunity to study abroad twice, which I probably would not have been able to do without Albert. So I've been to Spain and did an international studies faculty-led study abroad there. And then this past semester, I went to Australia and studied at the University of Sydney for the semester. So it's been such a great experience and just really opened up the opportunities that you have in college when you're able to have a full ride plus extra money on top of that.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, now we're going to head over to Phoebe and let her have a few minutes to share.
Hi, so my name is Phoebe. I'm a junior in the social work program. I'm also minoring in criminal justice, and I'm a Martin Scholar. I love the Martin Scholarship so much. I come from a very low income family, and I went through community college. So I'm a transfer student, and I paid through that all out of my own pocket. And it was really hard working and doing school, and then also trying to volunteer and be involved in clubs. But having the financial aspect taken away is such a relief. And the cohort that we have for the Martin Scholars, they're amazing. They're all so inspiring and passionate and driven. And I've often found myself getting inspiration from them. I'll see them do really amazing things. Like one of our Martin Scholars, Betsabe, she got, I want to say it's the Wrangle, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, the Wrangle internship. It's a very prestigious opportunity. And she was the first UNCC student to do that. And just seeing her do that kind of helped inspire me to apply to be a Belk Impact Fellow, and I got the position. But like Mary Margaret had said, we also do a lot of cultural events. Last year, we went to DC and Boston. We went to a Furious Flowers poetry event, as well as we got to tour Boston, and we've met with our donors several times, as well as we've met really high-ranking people that look like the others in our cohort and are very down to earth, but have such high-ranking statuses that we wouldn't have had those opportunities otherwise. But the Honors College is amazing. The staff that you work with, the faculty, they're all so loving and helpful, and you can tell that they really care about you as a student and as a person. But yeah, no, being in a Martin Scholar is awesome. Being in the University Honors Program is amazing. And if you have the opportunity to apply, I'd say go for it. The worst thing that they can tell you is no. And on the off chance that you get a scholarship or you get into the program and they say yes, it could be life-changing. So good luck to all the applicants.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. It's really, really helpful for the overview, and then certainly valuable to hear directly from the students about your personal experiences and how, excuse me, your scholarship opportunities have enhanced your experience as a student at UNC Charlotte. We do have a couple questions that we can go ahead and start, and then as all of you in attendance have additional questions, throw them in at any point. But this first question, I kind of want to direct to both Gretchen and Mary Margaret. It's tied to the Albert Scholarship. But could you expand more on what it means that the Albert Scholarship application is combined with the Honors College app? If we apply to an Honors College, how do we ensure we are considered for Albert? So Gretchen, can you talk a little bit about the application process? And then Mary Margaret, I would love to hear kind of just from the student perspective of being an Albert Scholar within the Honors College, just some additional insight there.
Sure. So the way the combined application works is you first would need to go to the Niner Scholars portal. Make sure that if you're wanting to apply to the Albert, that you've actually matched with the Albert Scholarship. And if you, for some reason, have not matched with it and think that you should, you can contact the University Scholarship Office and they will check into that. And if you are indeed supposed to have matched with that, they can make that happen. What you would need to do at that point is go into the Albert Scholarship and do everything that's required for that application. If you apply for the Albert, then you have also applied for the Honors College. So you do not, you'll see a separate Honors College application in there in the portal, but you don't need to also fill that out. Your application to Albert is also for consideration for the Honors College.
Awesome. Thank you. We get a lot of questions on that in terms of students just making sure that they're not applying or submitting two applications. So students who are seeing Albert can rest assured that they're also being considered for the Honors College through their application. And Mary Margaret, I'll pass it to you.
Yeah, so as Ms. Backley was explaining, if you're an Albert Scholar, you're automatically in UHP. And some things that I found beneficial about that is, as I was talking about earlier, UHP is so interdisciplinary, and the classes that you're taking are like 15 students usually with really great professors. And first of all, it's just a nice break from like my whole STEM classes with engineering, getting that extra really nice interdisciplinary classes. But I've also found that it's helpful to have those interdisciplinary skills, and those can apply to engineering. So I think if I wasn't in the Albert program or UHP, it would just be like straight track engineering all the time. But you find that social skills, like any problems that happening in your community, citizenship skills all apply to engineering as well. So I think it kind of rounds out your engineering degree even better being a part of UHP.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, our next question is more process oriented. So I will pitch it to you, Gretchen. But so for this student, I'm also nominated for Levine Scholars Program. Do I need to submit the essays I did for Levine?
So if you are a Levine Scholars nominee and applicant, what we will be doing is at some point, I believe it's next week, the scholarship office will be seeing any of those Levine applicants that match with any of our scholarships, whether it be Albert, Martin, or the Freeman or Johnson, or multiples of those. And they will transfer those into the Niner Scholars portal. And if that happens for you as an applicant, you will get an email from the scholarship office letting you know that that has taken place. And then you'll need to go into the portal and check out the application in there to make sure that everything is where it needs to be. Because as far as like, if it's transferred to the Albert application, you're probably going to need that additional letter of recommendation. There might be a couple of loose ends to tie up, but most of your information is going to be in there. The essay and all that stuff is going to transfer so that you don't have to completely start another application over again. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, that's very helpful. I think the biggest thing too, just to emphasize, is that the Levine process doesn't happen within Niner Scholars. So you do have to create and build the profile within Niner Scholars to match to these opportunities, which we encourage all students to take advantage of. I know there's confusion typically year to year with that. So another question that we get that I thought of earlier too is just reiterating or talking about the number of scholars selected year to year. Can you talk a little bit about what we can expect in the cohort across the scholarships for how many recipients we typically see in a year?
Sure. So for the Albert application, right now, this year we are allowed to select 2 Alberts. Sometimes this fluctuates from year to year, but right now, at least for the next 5 years, we'll be doing 2 Alberts each year. And for Martin, this does fluctuate every year because we are permitted to have about 18 to 20 at all times. So it depends, because that application is open to transfers and continuing students. So we don't ever know exactly when our group is going to graduate. So like this year we have about 5 or 6 graduates, I believe. So we'll be able to add about 5 or 6 more. And for Freeman, we select 3 to offer that scholarship to. And then for Johnson, we are able to select 5.
Awesome. And then Zach, how about Belk Scholars?
Yeah, Belk Scholars is about 5 as well.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. All right, and then another question we get often, or something that I think might be important to emphasize, is timeline. Can we talk a bit about the deadlines and notification that students can expect when submitting their application?
Sure. Let's see, for the Albert, those, the finalist notifications will go out in February, and then we do virtual interviews, and the awards will be done in March. And the Martin is on a similar timeline. It's just a tad later. The finalist notification will be later in February. And then the virtual interviews will be the beginning of March, and offers will be extended later toward the end of March. And for the Freeman and the Johnson, those notifications will both go out in March as well.
And the deadline to submit those applications, does that align with the Honors College application priority deadline of December 15th?
The Albert is December 15th, and then the Martin, the Freeman, and the Johnson are all, the application deadline for those are all February 1st.
Awesome. Good to know. Zach, can you talk to us deadlines, Belk Scholars?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, Belk Scholars is kind of just like a rolling process. We'll review some applicants, see who we want to interview those people, make offers, and just kind of go through that until we fill our class. So if you are interested in the Belk Scholars program, we don't have a formal deadline, but we'll start reviewing the first batch of applicants in December. So I recommend trying to get your honors or your Belk Scholars application in at the same time as your Honors College application. So December 15th is what I would aim for. What we'll probably end up doing is reviewing applicants right after December 15th to offer interviews to the first couple weeks of January. So that should be what our original timeline is. So definitely get your applications in sooner rather than later, because we might fill up quick. We never know, but the application is technically open until April or May, I believe. But it's until we fill our cohort.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So before we have a few minutes, if anyone would like to throw in last minute questions, I always try to just prompt that before we close. We don't have any open currently, but if you have questions before we close out, throw them in. But I do want to just give Mary, Margaret, and Phoebe one more opportunity. If there's anything that you feel like would be a piece of advice or anything that you want to share, a highlight of your program in closing, I just want to make sure that we get to hear as much as we can from both of you while we have the opportunity. And I will let either one of you start.
Ask tough questions. I have to think about it before I answer.
Sure. And if you want to think about something in your program, maybe outside of the classroom that stands out, that's always, I know students have a lot of questions about kind of the extra pieces, those, I know you've shared a little bit already, but.
I think that the honors, I mean, the honors program in general, especially when you're a scholarship recipient, is just there are so many resources that I would not have access to otherwise. I mean, like you get special advising for scholarships external to UNCC, like advising for grad school after you continue, advising for just like personal advice. I mean, there's just like a continuous support from the faculty that is so wonderful for scholarship recipients, just like Phoebe was talking about earlier, that it just like it makes college so much easier, and just like all of these resources that you have that I otherwise wouldn't, just make all of it so worth it. And then also when Phoebe was talking about the Martin Scholars donors, I completely forgot to mention how wonderful Mr. and Mrs. Albert are, and they're so involved in the program. They keep track of us, they want updates from us, they come and visit sometimes, and it's nice to see, like, get to know the people behind who's funding your scholarship and that they're so invested in us. It just feels like such a good, close-knit family of support all throughout college. So it has been wonderful.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, and I'll chime in back with the donors, Dr. and Mr. Mr. Martin. They're really down to earth and very sweet, and you can tell that they genuinely take an interest in who you are as a person. I know that I've heard from Miss Bagley and from others on the honors like faculty that they'll be like, oh, you know, how are our Martins doing? How are our kids doing? And we kind of joke within the cohort that they're our adoptive parents. And it's a fun little joke that we've got going, but it really does feel like we have an additional set of parents, and the entire faculty of the Honors College are incredibly supportive. I can't stress that enough. The advising that they have, some of the advising could do a little bit better with UNCC, but they definitely tailor it to what you want to do. And I was looking at double majoring for a moment, and they were like, okay, well, here's what you would need to do if you wanted to go this way, or you could do this, this, and this. And that was really helpful for me just because I wasn't even sure where to start. But also there is, with both the UHP and with the Martin Scholars, there's a bunch of extracurriculars that you can do. You can do volunteering. Of course, we have our own cultural events, but we also have book clubs that we have. We have a book that we're supposed to be reading next semester, if I'm not mistaken. We met last month, I believe, with Dr. Lewis Gordon, and we talked about what like the definition of knowledge is in regard to data science, just a bunch of different opportunities that you wouldn't normally get. It's just, it's an amazing opportunity. And if you have the chance, I can't stress enough, go for it.
Awesome. Thank you both so much. Your insight is so valuable. It's really cool to hear about your experiences. So thanks for adding and leaving us with those words. So I will say, maybe Gretchen, you can just let us know how, if we have follow-up questions after we close out the session, the best way to submit questions or follow up.
Sure. If you have any questions after this session that you weren't able to ask or thought of later, please contact us in the Honors College. If you go to the Honors College website, you can find the phone number to our front desk. You can find our email address. You're welcome to contact us either one of those ways, and we will get back with you as soon as we can. We're always happy to answer questions and help clear things up. I would like to add real quick, Chelsea, that we do have, as Phoebe and Mary Margaret mentioned, we do have very active donors that provide these scholarships, and they're very excited to be making a difference in the lives of these students. And they do ask for information on them, and it's not because they're being nosy, it's because they're so excited to be able to do this for them. They really care. And that's super exciting to have active donors that are that invested. In addition, like once you are already in the Honors College as a continuing student, we do also have scholarships for continuing students such as the Maisto and the Neuron and some other ones. So just want to let you know, once you're in, you have some other opportunities as a continuing student as well.
Yes, thank you for sharing that. That's very helpful too. Zach, if we do have questions about Belk Scholars, what's a good way to follow up there?
Yeah, on the Belk Scholars website, there's a link to fill out like an interest form, and my contact information is also on there. You can also just email me. It's zlord2@uncc.edu. And I'd be happy to talk to you more about that process, but there's lots of information on our website too.
Awesome. All right. Thank you all so much for the information you provided and the insight. So helpful. And thank you all for attending this morning. We do have a student panel later this afternoon taking place at 1, and then a tour of Levine Hall that will take place at 2. So we hope that you will join us for either or for both of those sessions later today. And thank you all again for joining us. Have a great rest of your Friday.
Thank you.
Bye.